It being 5 p.m. or thereabouts, the public interest debate will now proceed with I call the member for Ballina.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. And I rise to introduce a motion for today's public interest debate on behalf of the Greens in the Legislative Assembly, the member for Newtown, Jenny Leong, and she was here, and the member for Balmain, Kobe Shetty. I will read the motion. The motion is that this House, 1, notes the decision by the Victorian Labor Government that from 1st of January 2024, new residential properties, as well as government buildings, including schools and hospitals, will only be powered by electricity. 2, recognises that this ban on new gas connections was supported by the Property Council and Master Builders Association Victoria, the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners, Clean Energy Council, Climate Council, Friends of the Earth Melbourne and the Energy Efficiency Council. 3, notes the Victorian Government estimates that the change will save households up to $1,000 on their annual energy bills, $2,200 if they have solar installed, and reduce emissions. 4, calls on the New South Wales Government to require that no new homes or government-owned properties built from the 1st of January 2024 will have gas connections. And 5, urges the New South Wales Government and all members to take urgent action to tackle the climate crisis. Mr Speaker, before I begin, I want to credit an extraordinary Australian thinker, engineer, indeed a genius, Saul Griffith. I'll be borrowing heavily from his thinking and his words in his essay entitled The Wires That Bind, Electrification and Community Renewal, published in 2023 in the 89th issue of the Quarterly Essay. It's a good read. Saul's been principal investigator on research projects for NASA, as well as winning a MacArthur Genius Grant, and he is founder of Rewiring America and Rewiring Australia, and many other accolades. I know that he advises the President of the United States, and closer to home, I'm told he advised the former Minister for Energy, Matt Keane. The call we are making today, Mr Speaker, is to the Premier and to all members in this place, is that we have the power to green light, excuse the pun, we have the power to green light the household electrification national project that we need here in New South Wales, to start in New South Wales, to continue in New South Wales. The modest but courageous and strong action the Victorian Labor have taken that we are calling for today must be taken here in New South Wales as we steadfastly do everything we can to support every household and every person in this state to replace their fossil fuel reliant cars and appliances with ones powered by clean energy. This project that Saul outlines in his essay, and I quote, is the clean electrification project that can unite us in a period of dislocation, in a nation-building opportunity to define the 21st century. His essay sets out a roadmap for the dual challenge we face if we are to achieve even remotely a 1.5 degree of future warming, the early retirement of the heaviest emitters in our country, coal and gas, and the mandated replacement, we hope, of the millions and millions of machines we use at end of life to electrical fueled by clean, renewable energy. The experience of the climate crisis, Mr Speaker, is no longer abstract for billions of people across the globe. It's not abstract for people in my community after the 2022 floods, and it is certainly not abstract for the hundreds of thousands of people affected in this state by drought, the Black Summer bushfires and the floods of 2022. But what is abstract is often what action individuals and households can take to become net zero themselves. We know that the big levers to retire as quickly as possible the coal and gas infrastructure will need to be pulled by governments. But what Saul lays out for us is the millions of opportunities backed by government that households and consumers can take up as they literally become the parts of the renewable energy network. None of this is new, but what is new for me is the clear path forward for members of my community and members of every community represented here. The challenge is simply, will you have the courage, I say this to the Premier, will you have the courage to do this? Because we need you to do it as soon as possible. Mr Speaker, the Australian electricity network is the largest machine Australia has ever built. It physically links every household in the country and simultaneously every person in every household in every community across Australia. Saul describes this energy transition as a machines problem. The millions of machines that we use every day that need to be electrical and replaced, and the subsequent opportunity that provides us. On the energy demand side, Saul paints the picture of these millions of machines 1.5 million homes have bottled gas that feeds 6 million gas heaters, 4.8 million gas water heaters, 1.9 million freestanding gas stoves, and on, 4 million gas barbecues. He estimates that we have about 60 million demand-side residential and commercial machines that are burning fossil fuels. This includes the 20 million vehicles in our garages, the roughly 12,000 aeroplanes, the 1 million boats, and the tens of millions of golf carts, jet skis, lawnmowers, whippersnippers, and dirt bikes. To replace all of those machines with electric machines, we also need new infrastructure. He estimates we need an additional 5 to 7 million household batteries, and about 10 to 20 million EV vehicle chargers. And goes on to estimate that we need overall, just to support our renewable energy electric future, 30 to 40 million new machines. Mr. Speaker, how do we get to the 100% end-of-life replacement curve that we need? We need the decisions to start now. We cannot keep kicking this can down the road. What that would look like is just for the government to say there will be no new gas stoves, no new petrol vehicles, no new gas heaters after, and pick a date. And we would like that to be 2025 or sooner. And there is no other option. You simply cannot purchase anything other than those that are supported by renewable electricity. Consumers cannot do it alone, and we sure as hell cannot let them replace their cars and stoves and heaters with the same fossil fuel models, because we know what's coming, we know what's needed. It is madness. And I think, Mr. Speaker, of the opportunity lost in my electorate with the 2022 floods, how many appliances have been replaced. But I know that my community is savvy and they would have already made this decision. We need the subsidies, we need government-backed annuities, we need whatever it takes, whether it's interest-free loans, whatever it takes to get every single household net zero. That is easy, it is low-hanging fruit, and I know that so many members in this House agree with that. And a big shout out to the member for South Coast with that community battery project that is happening down there. There's so much opportunity, and we really hope that that the government can support our motion today.